Okay, next one along. Iris Vangerman, I guess, something like this. Over the last 2 to 3 years, and there's quite a lot here, so I'll pop text into the chat for you as well, mate. Over the last 2 to 3 years, my approach to medicine work, hence my values, shifted very profoundly. I tried to take the people on my newsletter list, my clients, on the journey with me, with regular personal and factual blog articles, but I feel something is off, or some of them are off now, which I can understand. So, how to go best about this, even saying goodbye in a good way? I guess there's some overlap with questions you've answered so far. I feel I might start over again with clients and niche and things like this. And they also acknowledge that maybe it's a question for a puttering section as well, but we'll see how we do. So, additional information. Their approach changed as they evolved in their own healing path. They found a new mentor, which brought huge shifts in healing. Realize the limitations of the former approach. Okay, so it's more of a value and approach or attitude thing, and some new ceremonies. And the niche, not sure if they really changed. Some are coming along and are super happy. Others seem confused, but they might not be happy with my new values and approach. I think that's mainly it. Yeah, so I mean, we didn't have enough time to really kind of figure out exactly what they were going for. But I guess essentially what they're doing is changing enough that something feels off. They already have an existing client base,
Yeah.
and like some of them are coming with them, some of them aren't. Do they start over? Do they keep going? And I'll just pop the whole thing into the chat for you.
Fantastic. Thank you. Yeah. Well, it's beautiful. First of all, congrats on the self-awareness to just see like, oh, something's changing and this may or may not be a fit for my people. There's a beautiful integrity in this because if our hidden agenda is I just want to get clients and get people to buy, no matter what, that's the goal. Then we hide these things. We're not going to share these things at all because we know if we shared it, they might leave. So Iris just, I mean, big integrity points on this for yourself too, because now you're, I think, starting to realize, wait a minute, yeah, some of these clients, it doesn't feel like a fit on my end either. So in this case, I think you're on track, Iris. I think you probably could already come up with what I'm going to say. So this may be more affirmation than assignment. But this is a fantastic chance to reintroduce yourself to your list and your people. Or you say, look, um, I've kind of mentioned this here and there, but I wanted to just do the full-throated, here's where I'm at. Because there's been some changes, and I want to be very explicit about what those changes are. Uh, there's been some changes in how I do what I do and the offers, and here's the shifts. And you could even have a side-by-side table. Like it used to be this, and now it's this. There's also been some shifts in my worldview and belief. I used to come from this perspective, but now I come from this perspective. And to me, it's important that you know. If you want to click reply and ask me questions, I'm happy to answer any questions. And that could turn into a second email. Hey, I got some really great questions. I thought I'd just answer them all together in this email. And here's what's been coming up for people. And again, in that first email and the second email, I would really shake the tree for unsubscribes and just say, hey, look, if this doesn't feel like a fit for you anymore, I mean, just, bless you on your way. All is well. I hope you find what you're looking for. And you might also include links to here's some other colleagues. Look, I don't do this kind of work anymore, and I know some of you are still drawn to it. So I want you to know here are the 3 people I endorse most, who I would really trust to send you to, who do work in that way under that worldview. I just don't anymore, and so if you're still drawn to that, stick around. So what happens is you get a lot of unsubscribes, but the new clarity, one of the things it does is it will boost referrals, and you could also use this as an opportunity to ask people to spread the word specifically and make it really easy for them and say, look, I'm kind of relaunching in this new way, going in this new direction. I could use your help. So here's some text you can cut and paste and put on social media. And maybe tag some friends, or here's some social media post. Here's a social media post I did reintroducing myself, similar to this email, maybe the exact same text. And if you know anyone who you think would really love this, could you go tag them? What's funny is you might have people who they decide to unsubscribe, but then they go tag some friends. And they're
Mm.
basically saying it's not a fit for me, but hey, Jimmy, you would love this. We were just talking about this the other night. I mean, in fundraising, I heard a story where so they did a kind of basically a signature workshop. They do an hour-long presentation, like here's our school they were fundraising for. They did the fundraiser and they did the follow-up call. And there was always a series of questions they would ask in the one-on-one follow-up call. First one was just what did you think? Open question. Second is there any way you can see yourself being involved? And this person said, yeah, it's great what you're doing. Is there any way you can see yourself being involved? No, you're a private school. I really support public schools. And so it's not my bag. I mean, it's great what you're doing, but I'm not interested in being involved. Third question, no problem. Is there anyone else you could see being involved? And he was like, yeah, my wife. Yeah, honey, pass the phone. So if you don't ask the follow-up question, you don't find out. Just because they're not a fit doesn't mean they won't give you referrals. Sometimes they become a great source of referrals and they also remember your integrity because maybe even like in person, you sit down with a client, you say, look, I'm not the best person for you. I've done this so many times. I mean, I've had on puttering sessions where I'm like, look, I want to stop the call. I'm going to refund your money. You need to go talk to Alex Baisley. You just don't have enough of a thing for me to help you with. So here's a colleague of mine who can help you figure out your thing. If you get a thing and you need marketing help, feel free to come back. And what happens is in the turning people away, whether it's in a group email or one-on-one, you get a chance to reestablish your niche in their mind. So you can say, look, this isn't a fit. Here's why. Uh, you're looking for this, but I do this. So when they leave, they know what this is. They understand your niche. And so when they're out in the market, then they're at a party a week later and somebody's like, oh, I'm really struggling with this thing. And you're like, oh man, I know somebody. They turned me away, or I was on their email list and I realized it wasn't for me, but this is exactly what you're looking for. So it's a chance to affirm who we are and what we're about. So that's what I would say in response to that.
Lovely. This theme seems so interesting to me. We place so much emphasis developing our own businesses on promoting awareness, the connections, getting people on the email list, the followers, the engagement, stuff like this. And then at some point, like it's just not doesn't work. Right? We just got a whole bunch of stuff, and it reminds me a great deal of I don't know if you ever had this when you were a wee and at school, when you put glue on a piece of paper and drew a picture with the glue and then threw glitter at it, and all
Yeah.
the glitter falls away and you're just left with this shape that's all glittery and colorful. Yeah, maybe yeah, like this thing's revealed. Anyway,